Hello, my name is Natalia Let-Grice, and I am a real estate planning, and business planning attorney here in the state of Florida. And today I wanted to talk to you about the estate taxes that nobody tells you about. Okay, all right. So big thing first, obviously, when you think estate taxes, you might be thinking about Florida estate taxes, of which we don't have any. Woo! Or federal estate taxes, of which there are definitely some federal estate taxes involved. But you might be thinking, oh yeah, but last I heard you can like have up to $12 million in assets, and then only anything over that gets taxed. And while that is true, that is not a permanent number. That number is going to change, and it's going to change December 31st of 2025. That big, huge number you see, it's going to sunset. It's going to go to about half of that. So those are not the estate taxes, the hidden estate taxes that I'm talking about. I'm talking about the hidden taxes involved in administering an estate. So all good and well, estate planning practices tend to encourage clients to develop a trust, to create a trust agreement so that you can skip probate, because probate administration, that's the administration that passes assets from a person that dies to their heirs or their beneficiaries under their will. That requires a court process, and that can be very, very expensive. And it can be quite lengthy as well, depending on when it's done, the amount of assets that the person left behind, what kind of guidance they left behind, if any, about how to make these distributions and who's entitled to what. But also, like, does everyone know exactly what they left behind, and did they leave the enough information, and are they being provided access to this information, right? There's all these little things at play that make probate really expensive and really time consuming. So a lot of estate planning involves creating trusts, right? Okay, so we'll put everything into a trust, and then we won't have to deal with probate. And people think like, that's it, that's awesome, woo, yay. But the hidden cost about that has to do with a different kind of tax, a different kind of federal tax. And I'm talking about trust taxes. So little thing for you here, trusts are, if it's an irrevocable trust, a trust that cannot be changed, cannot be revoked, where it's going to be extremely hard to make a change to this trust. An irrevocable trust that is not a grantor trust that's revocable, right? Different thing here. You can inquire as to all those terms in different video when you actually schedule a consultation with me. But for now, an irrevocable trust is going to have to produce an income tax return, just like any other entity. So you as a human being, you've got your own annual income tax return that you produce. Your LLC's got its own income tax return. Your corporation's got its own income tax return. Will trusts also have an income tax return? And unlike individuals, the tax rate for trusts isn't the most awesome. And so as part of something that you want to consider when you are creating trusts is the lifetime of these trusts is going to have an impact by how long this entity is going to have to file an annual trust tax return. And so if you are thinking of having very long-term trust because somebody's told you, oh yeah, it'll shelter from creditors, etc., well, sure, it might do so, but at the cost of a trust income tax return. So that's what I want you to know right there. Trust income taxes, it's something you should know about. It's something you shouldn't go blindly into, and definitely something that whomever you're doing your estate planning with should talk to you about.